Good morning. Good morning and welcome to Neighborhood Unitarian Universalist Church in Pasadena. Welcome to all members, friends, and guests. My name is Lynn Miyamoto, and I serve as Vice President of the Board of Trustees. I'm also happy to serve today as your worship associate. Neighborhood Church creates and grows an inclusive community of faith connected by love, spirit, and service. We acknowledge our presence on the ancestral and unceded territory of the Gabriela Tonga peoples, the traditional caretakers of the lands and waters of this campus. We acknowledge our harmful colonial histories and commit to decolonizing our own practices, to learning new ways of being in community with each other and with the land itself. Today's service is led by the Reverend Dr. Omega Burkhart. Music is led by Dr. Zenaida Robles, Bell Choir Director Thomas Simpson, and Wells Lang. Please take a moment to silence your devices as we begin our service. Families with young children are always welcome in the sanctuary, and there is an additional play area for the very youngest in our narthex. For adults and older youth who don't need assistance, there's a quiet crafting table close to the organ. I have 3 brief announcements. Today, our children and youth will start in the sanctuary. After the time for all ages, they will proceed together to their classrooms. Please make sure to register your children for their classes or sign up on a visitor form so we have your emergency contact information. Also, there's a parents and families gathering in the playground area after the service today. Come for conversation and to help craft the new parents and family group. Today in the service, we'll be talking about the common book read, Social Change Now, a guide for reflection and connection. The book is available for a suggested $20 donation after the service today at the Social Justice Rapid Response Action Table on the patio. After today's service, Ginger Fury and Reverend Omega will host a new to UU conversation in the living room of the house. Here's Ginger to tell you more about it. Ginger?
Thank you, Lynn. Good morning, neighborhood. My name is Ginger Fury. I am the Director of Congregational Life, and it is my pleasure to be a part of the staff team and work to support our membership, engagement, and church programming. You can find me most Sundays standing at the welcome table, which is in our narthex right through the front doors. Please come say hello before or after service, whether you are visiting or a current member. As some of you may remember, last week I spoke briefly during our welcome words about how Unitarian Universalists, we are a non-creedal faith, meaning we won't tell you what you must believe, rather we are a covenantal faith. We focus on how we are in relationship with one another. Being a member of Neighborhood Church means that you are choosing to commit to honor, engage, and give to one another and our institution, to live out our shared values together, and to share your authentic self, contributing your time, your talent, and your resources to sustain this community. Over the past several weeks, we have been so delighted to see many new faces among us. Welcome. We are so glad that you are here. If you have been visiting us regularly, now is a wonderful time to consider becoming an official member and entering into this covenantal relationship with us. This also allows you to fully participate in all of our programs and offerings that we have here. The process for membership includes a one-on-one meeting with myself, a meeting with Reverend Omega, some paperwork, and culminating in a beautiful ceremony. To start, we highly encourage you to attend one of our new to UU conversations. Myself and Reverend Omega will be leading one today, directly after the service in the living room, which is inside the building next door to the house. Whether you are ready for membership, or perhaps you are still curious and just want to come learn a little bit more, that is welcome too. Please come join us today after service, and I am here to support you in your journey if you have any questions. Thank you.
Our order of service this morning is available as a link in the Sunday email and online by scanning the QR code on the back of your hymnal with your phone camera. Again, welcome to Neighborhood Church, an inclusive faith community connected by love, spirit, and service.
We are all bound up together. These are the words that we heard last week in our celebration of the life of Frances Ellen Watkins Harper. These words were written over 150 years ago. My liberation, yours, our dignity and right to a just world where love is centered. This co-liberation is only achievable when we all work together to make it so. This is at the core of compassion, that your life matters to me, that other people's lives are important and meaningful to our shared story. Today, as we gather at the end of September with one toe heading towards October, we're bridging the themes of belonging and compassion. So let us gather today with this intention. Let us gather, even if it's just for the next hour, in contemplation of all the ways that we can be part of a larger story of liberation for all. As my colleague, the Reverend Michelle Collins, states, we light this chalice as we learn to hold both tenderness and strength. May this flame illuminate the wisdom to know when compassion calls us to offer comfort and when it demands courageous action. On this slightly gloomy morning, I invite you into a time of shared centering. I, for one, am thankful for the damp. As the rain has washed our land in the past few days, may we enter this morning with hearts washed clean of complaints or bitterness. May we begin this morning by intentionally relaxing the tensions that we carry, the strains of those things that we cannot abandon, the responsibilities of our lives. As the sun has warmed our land this season, may we allow the warmth of community to heal our broken places. May the fog be lifted so we can see each other clearly. May we rejoice in the blessing of companions who, if we open ourselves just a little, will truly greet us with compassion and care. As the Reverend Maureen Killoran suggests, as the earth, nourished by rain, brings forth flowers to surround us with beauty, may we too allow our spirits to bloom even as we acknowledge the complexities of these days. Let us join in a moment of shared silence.
Please rise in body or in spirit and join us in singing our opening hymn, number 1040, Hush.
Somebody's calling my name.
like justice. Sounds like justice. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like justice. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like justice. Somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? Soon one morning, death come a creeping in my room. Soon one morning, death comes a creeping in my room. Soon one morning, death comes a creeping in my room. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Trouble don't last always. I'm so glad. Trouble don't last always. I'm so glad. Trouble don't last always. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do?
All right, let's do a mic check here real quick as I move over to this microphone. Hey, all right. Can y'all hear me okay? Okay. How are we doing, tech guys? Fantastic. All right, at this point, I'd like to invite all the kids and youth and adults who want to sit on the floor to come forward. There's some room up here in the front, too, if you'd prefer not to sit on the floor. Come on, kiddos. I'm going to read the Time for All Ages book today. So, kiddos out in the narthex, I see plenty of you out there. You're welcome to come in. Hi, kiddos. Kiddos. There we go. Here comes some. Fantastic. Come up here and grab a tree stump to sit on. And grab one of those. And we're going to sit right here because we have all of our bells out today, which is pretty cool. Come on up. Yeah. Or jog. Jogging, come up. Yeah, that's good stuff. Love it. Parents, you can even grab two if you want. I know when I sit on the floor, sometimes I need to. And when I read a book, you know what I also need? My glasses. Oh, look, good, I brought them. Whew. I know. Does anybody else need glasses when they read a book? Grown-ups? Yeah. All the grown-ups are saying, yeah. Your dad does? Yeah. Your mom sometimes? Yep. So today we're going to read this book. It's called We Are Builders. We Are Builders. And it's written by a person called Deepa Iyer. She is an activist and she's a lawyer. And it's illustrated by Ramona Golata. I had to pronounce that one carefully. Yeah. Like Minecraft builders. Exactly. Yes, actually, you're right. So for the adults in the room, we're talking today about this author, Deepa Iyer, and she has a children's book and the adult book. So we have both of those, although both can be read by either. But this one I think is pretty fun. So we're going to read about Minecraft builders. Whatever it takes. All right. Welcome to our community day. Ready for your role to play? My name is Ramla. I'm your guide. Follow me and stay by my side. So many grown-ups and kids are here. Everyone wants to volunteer. There's plenty to do in our town. Help new friends, plant trees in the ground. Has anybody planted a tree? You planted a tree or flowers? You name your trees? Like with people names or?
Yeah, like people. One of our trees is named Wendell.
Wendell. One of the trees they have is named Wendell. That's good stuff.
The time is now. Let's all play a part, listen and learn what moves your heart. Maybe in their family it's planting trees and naming them, names like Wendell. Yeah. We are the builders. For some of us that means Minecraft builders. We are the builders. We farm and forge, construct and fix, improve homes with nails and bricks. See those old desks, tables and chairs, good as new with some repairs.
Sounds even more like Minecraft.
It sounds even more like Minecraft the more we go, right?
It sounds like creative mode.
Creative mode. Who wants to join the builders? Would you be a builder, you think?
I want to be a scientist.
Okay, a scientist. Is anyone here a builder? You like to repair and fix things? Build Legos. That's exactly right. We have another kind of person who's important in our community. We are the caregivers. We comfort and console. We soothe and cheer. Care kits for all near and dear, acts of service and words that mend. How can I help my new friend? Who wants to be a caregiver? Do we have any caregivers here? Oh, we have a lot of caregivers. Lots of caregivers. Don't forget the cat creatures. Maybe the cat creatures are caregivers too. We are the frontline responders. We plan and protect. We stay prepared. Storms brewing, but don't be scared. Stock cans of soup, bags of fresh fruits. Gather warm coats, gloves, and boots. Who wants to join the frontline responders? Who's a frontline responder? I know we have some of those folks in our community too. Oh, we have more than that. I saw 3 or 4 hands. I think we probably have a few more than that. We are, the disruptors. They're important too. We declare, we demand, we demonstrate. Call for change, don't hesitate. Raise our voices, banners and beats. Meet and march out in the streets. Who wants to join the disruptors? Yeah, I thought we had some of them. You went to a protest? Some of us have gone to some protests. Yeah, there's one coming up in a couple of weeks you're going to hear about too. October 18th. We are the experimenters. We scan, invent, and improvise. We solve hard problems with fresh eyes. What if these used bottles and rags could become, I don't know, backpacks and bags? Who wants to join the experimenters? Yeah, I heard some, you wanted to be a scientist. Do we have any scientists out there? Some of you are experimenters. Okay, yeah, I know some of you are scientists. We are the visionaries. We dream, imagine, and inspire a world where we can all admire. Fresh air, clean water, safe and free, bright futures, that's what we see. Who here is a visionary? Some of you are selling yourselves short. I think a lot of you are visionaries. Yeah, you like to read. You're a visionary. You got it. And imagine, that's exactly what it's all about. We are the weavers. We stitch, we braid, we intertwine. Common threads link hearts and minds. When people fight or disagree, we find what connects you and me. We have some literal weavers here. Who are our literal weavers? Our knitters, our sewers. And grandma? Is it? Yeah. There are no wrestlers in this book. But there could be. Maybe that's important too. I don't know. How many of you are metaphorical weavers? You like to connect people. Yeah, okay. Not wrestlers, weavers, weavers. We are the healers. We renew, we restore, and we relieve. We tend to those who cry and grieve. Sometimes, when the world is too much, we nurture with breath or touch. Who here is a healer? A healer, yeah. You don't have to be just one. You can be many. We are the storytellers. We sing, we dance, we create art. We bring joy and love heart to heart. Vibrant murals preserve our past, history cherished at last. Who wants to join the storytellers? Any of you paint or draw or tell stories or like to read? Yeah, okay. Storytellers are also important. Of all the different roles to play, which one feels like you today? You could become a guide like me, show new folks what they can be. We mentor, we advise, we steer, we share wisdom, honest and clear. Now that's clear what we can each do. We want to hear from all of you. What role would you choose and who would you be? How will you change your community? The end. Although it's not the end of that question. We're going to be examining that a little bit today. But now it's time for the kiddos. It's time for you all to go to your classes. So if you're 4 and up are going to go to classes. For our younger ones, 3 and below, we have the area out here to play with. Thank you for putting the stumps away. So we're going to stand up, and the folks out here, we're getting ready to sing our kiddos out. So if you're new, the words are up on the screen. If you're not new, sing them real loud. Are you ready? Each person.
Each Sunday, our congregation dedicates 100% of its contributions to a 501c3 organization or neighborhood church-based social justice activities that are making a difference in our community and the world. You can donate in one of 2 ways. You can use your cell phone to donate by texting the number on the screen, or if you prefer to donate in person, put your donation in one of the designated boxes during the music or after the service. There is a donation box here at the front, one behind in the center row, and in the narthex entryway on the table. You may rise during the music to put your donation in the box if you wish. Please extend help to those in your neighborhood who may need assistance reaching the donation boxes. If you wish to make a payment towards your pledge or contribute to church operations, make a note in the subject line or use an envelope available at the donation boxes. This week, our gifts will support Planned Parenthood of Pasadena and the San Gabriel Valley. Today, to tell us more is Virginia Wilcox, Development Manager.
Good morning, everyone. I am so grateful to be here today with this beautiful community. My name is Virginia Wilcox. I'm the development manager at your local Planned Parenthood of Pasadena and San Gabriel Valley. It is so special to share this morning with you all and witness your community and the way that you stand up for your neighbors. We have a lot in common. Your local Planned Parenthood is also showing up for our community, a beautiful, vibrant community that we share. Before I get started in telling you about the work we do, I want to acknowledge everyone in this room who has been hurting in this difficult year. I know many people here were directly impacted by the Eaton fire, and my heart truly goes out to you. We were located for our administrative offices in the middle of Pasadena, and we have countless staff, supporters, patients who were also impacted, and it means a lot that we are all in this together, healing, rebuilding, and continuing to care for everyone around us who's struggling. We have a lot of common goals, and it's beautiful to look around this room and feel hope in such a difficult time. We have been in this community since 1933 as the 5th oldest Planned Parenthood in the country. I know this church is actually older, which is such a beautiful thing, so a lot of overlap. We have 5 health centers in Pasadena, Baldwin Park, Highland Park, Glendora, and Alhambra, serving about 22 communities in Pasadena and Northeast LA. So we go far east, a little bit west, and help about 62,000 patient visits per year. I want to tell you a little bit about what we're facing right now. Some of you may have been here last week and heard from my colleague Nellie Sims. If you've been watching the news, which is hard right now, you know that Planned Parenthood was defunded on the 4th of July. About 3 weeks ago, this defund went into effect following a lot of litigation, which will continue. What this means is that Planned Parenthood has been cut off from patients' access to Medicaid, which is known as Medi-Cal here in California. This means that we can no longer bill Medicaid for any of our patient services. 75% of our patients use Medicaid for their medical care. To put this into perspective, 75% of our annual budget is made up by these Medicaid reimbursements. This is truly a way for the current administration to eliminate Planned Parenthood, and I think we all know that the people hurt most by this are our patients, our community members, the people who need health care. A lot of people come to our health centers for primary care. For many of them, it is the only place where they receive health care, and this is just gutting to me when I think about people who, if this is successful, will no longer have that essential life-saving care. I want to share a story with you about something beautiful that happened in our health centers just a few weeks ago. A patient came into us for a consultation. She felt pregnant, but she could also sense that something was off in her body. We offered her a pregnancy test, and it was positive, and based on her other symptoms, offered an ultrasound. We were able to diagnose an ectopic pregnancy. Because of the relationships we have built with hospital partners, we were able to refer her to their emergency department and have her evaluated quickly. This made a big difference in her outcome. She had surgery that same afternoon that removed the pregnancy but spared her fallopian tube. Our same-day care saved her life and her future fertility. This is just one of the powerful stories that comes out of our health centers each and every day. This is the same care that is being threatened, as our very existence is being threatened. The people who are most gravely impacted by this are our patients, our neighbors, our community that we all care so deeply about. In this moment, it is our generous supporters who are truly fighting the fight and helping us to keep our doors open. We are fighting with everything we have, every fiber in our bodies. And we refuse to close our doors. Our doors are wide open to every patient who comes to us. We will continue to care for this vibrant community. This is a challenging time on so many levels, but when I look around this room, I cannot help but feel hope. I want to thank each and every one of you for showing up for Planned Parenthood in this incredibly difficult time and for sharing your plate with us. Please come find me at the welcome table after the service if you'd like to learn more about how you can show up. We have many, many ways that you can volunteer, get involved, join a committee, donate, and share this with your friends. This has been drowned out in the news because there's so much hard news, but everyone needs to know what's happening so that we can all look out for one another. Thank you so much for inviting me into your community today.
And thank you for giving generously.
just have one little thing to say. So I arranged this piece about 6, 7 years ago from a very famous piece that was for a bigger group and all that. And I programmed it in 2019, in the fall. I put it in the folders. So then in the spring, we were getting ready, and about March, I guess it was 14th, we're like, okay, we're getting ready to play it, and then something happened, and we couldn't. So it's been like 5 years in the making, so they did a fantastic job. So
So good morning, everybody. So very happy to be speaking with Carrie about our experiences with the Center for Restorative Justice in Pasadena. And we're really, really excited to talk about our future partnership with them and the work that we'll be doing going forward. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the center, and then Carrie will share some of her experience that we both had, and then I'll end with a little bit about my experience. But want to tell you a little bit about the center. So the Center for Restorative Justice is a place-based organization that educates and equips communities to address the history of racial injustice and disrupt its ongoing impact by making the past present. They do this through experiential learning opportunities, educational cohorts, and embodied storytelling, all grounded in spiritual practices. Carrie.
I'm Carrie Vargas. Hi, go Dodgers. I had the absolute pleasure of doing what they called their Pasadena pilgrimage, and Lynn and Kevin and I did that, and shout out to my good friend Elizabeth Sadlon, who couldn't go and gave me her ticket. So the center describes itself as a soft place to have hard conversations, and that's exactly what it was. We took a tour of Pasadena through the lens of race. And we started at the center with breakfast, beautiful breakfast, up in the top floor of the center. And they started with the Tongva, Gabrielino Tongva people, and telling stories. This was really all about storytelling. We took a walk down to City Hall to the Robinson head statues and had some really interesting conversation about the Robinson family and how Pasadena claims them, but didn't always. And it was really eye-opening. We got on a bus and we took a tour of Pasadena. And some of these things I knew. I knew about the schools. I knew about the white flight once we integrated the schools in Pasadena. That Pasadena has the highest number of private schools per capita of any city in the country. But what we got at every location that we stopped at Blair High School, we stopped at Marshall High School, we got storytellers, we got people who had lived through these experiences and told their stories, and their stories were surprising. They weren't what you expected. And it was really, it was just so eye-opening and so beautiful. We stopped for lunch, and provided by Perry's Joint. And we had a wonderful speaker that talked to us about redlining, and specifically redlining in Altadena. And that was, again, very eye-opening. They showed us documents that had descriptive words on them that were just shocking and incredible. We took a quiet drive up through Altadena, through the burn zone, and we ended at the neighborhood bar in Altadena, where a map stands, so good, where a map stands of all of the places that were lost and the lives that were lost. And we had some spoken word poetry. And just by happenstance, the creator of that mural actually drove by and stopped and shared that experience with us. The center, the entire experience was transformative. It was so life-changing. And when I was done, I was just like, I want more of this. I want more of the center. I want to do as much as I can with them. They are doing some really incredible work, and in such a kind and soft way. And so it really was a transformative day.
So I can ditto everything that Carrie said. It really was life-changing for me. I grew up in Arcadia, and to see sort of the redlining too in our surrounding neighborhoods, and I had moved there in 1960, it really made me think, well, this is why too my parents would have wanted us to go to a Japanese American church in Pasadena because of sort of the demographics. So it's just the work that they're doing is really transformational. I've been able to engage with some of the other work that they've done, meeting some artists from El Salvador and downtown, and what their work meant and what does that work mean as it reflects what's happening with our immigration system and the history in here. And one thing that hit us, I think all, is when they started to talk about eugenics at Caltech, and that's when I said, oh my, we have some intersections here. And I went up and spoke to John Williams, who is leading the organization, and he had said he had met Donna Perkins, and at another event where too I had heard John speak about Octavia Butler. And so the best thing for me is it's all about community building, and having an opportunity to meet Hannah and John, who run the center. And Hannah came to our Building Bridges dinner, and to speak with her more. They're just doing really, really great work. And so if we could be in community together with the center, you'll also get to maybe meet other people that are doing some of the same work and want to do more work. So we're really excited because we've set up a day to do the Pasadena pilgrimages for our church on April 18th. Put it on your calendar, but please look and start to engage maybe with the work beforehand of what the center is doing. We think it will be a very fruitful partnership and really life-changing for you as well.
And just an aside, something else that I did with the center this summer is they did an Octavia Butler book club, and we read Parable of the Talents, and Donna and Elizabeth Sadlon and I participated in that. And it wasn't just read it and show up. We had rituals, we had a playlist, we had all of these things that went into the experience of getting through this very, very difficult story. They really think of it all. And I'm so excited about our church pilgrimage on April 18th. And I really hope that as it gets closer and we start talking more about it, that you all will be up for participating, because it's really, really an incredible experience. Thank you.
This is not Canticle of Hope. This is We Gather Together by Lloyd Larson. Sorry for the error.
Black liberationist Assata Shakur died this past week in Cuba. Political and social activist Shakur stated, "At this point, I think that it is important to make one thing very clear. I have advocated, and I still advocate, revolutionary changes in the structure and the principles that govern the United States. I advocate self-determination for my people and for all oppressed in the United States. I advocate an end to capitalist exploitation, the abolition of racist policies, the eradication of sexism, and the elimination of political repression. If that is a crime, then I am totally guilty." I agree with that statement. She wrote these words in 1988 after having lived in Cuba for almost a decade at that point. She was given asylum in Cuba after being broken out of prison in the United States in 1979 following, and these are her words, a legal lynching, a biased conviction for murder, even though she declared innocence throughout her whole life. Some of you no doubt have heard of Assata Shakur, but many of you might not have heard of her or her activism. For many, she was and will continue to be a freedom fighter, and for others, she was a criminal. What we can agree on is that her legacy was intentionally erased, an act of cultural, political, and racial erasure. For 50 years, she fought from asylum in Cuba for the liberation of all peoples within the United States. Today, we gather in service of belonging and compassion. And in our times, compassion must mean working for the liberation of all peoples. As we heard in Frances Ellen Watkins Harper's words last week from over 150 years ago, we are all bound up together. From Frances's legacy to Assata's own words, we can trace that legacy of activism, Black activism, rooted in visioning, connection, and liberation. Last week, in our first in a series of Third Sunday theology conversations, a group of us wrestled here in this space. We wrestled with history and the intentional application of a brand of white Christian nationalism rooted in extractive capitalism and power hoarding. We considered how we, as Unitarian Universalists, one of many unapologetically liberal and progressive faith movements around the world, but in particular in this context in the United States right now, we wrestled and we considered how can we respond to these threats. Despite not necessarily being new, the relationship that is between power and organized religion, that is not new. We witness now almost daily a new facet, a new intentional deployment by those who would presume to call themselves religious, even as they wield religion itself as a cudgel of hate. And here is what I heard from many of you during that conversation last week. What can we do? What shall we do? There is no single answer to that question. But here are a few things that I know to be certain. The battle for liberation for all requires all of us, all of our gifts and our tools and our inspirations, all of our connections, our whole complicated lives, all of our learnings and our applications requires you and your particular vision, your understanding, your involvement, not just Black activists or not just activists from marginalized communities, not just progressives, not just women, not just immigrants, all of us. And one of the reasons that takes all of us is because we can't do it all the time. Like a good choir, we need to coordinate when we take a breath, when we fall back to rest. so that we can then again come forward when someone else needs to take a break, all of us. What I also know to be true is that the fight against oppression and the fight for social change requires both facing uncomfortable truths about ourselves and our histories, and also our privileges and our failures. We as a people must take accountability for what we've gotten wrong in order to continue to build on what we've gotten right. And I also know that we cannot do the work of continued building and engagement without joy and delight, and creating space for others for their nourishment in the journey. That moment when we turn from inspiration to cynicism, the moment of exhaustion, this is the moment precisely when to remind yourself and to care for others, to help them remember to rest. This is spiritual work. All of these knowns are the ways that Spirit guides us in the work of liberation, working together as a community, a collective that acknowledges weakness and vulnerability, that celebrates achievement, and that makes room for nourishment and joy on the journey itself, not just at the end, but on the journey itself. This is what being of a progressive faith means. As you heard from Lynn and Katie today, it is important that we find, that we cultivate, and are accountable to other partners also doing this work. This year, our congregation will connect with the Center for Restorative Justice here in Pasadena in several different ways. As you heard, we have the pilgrimage planned for next spring. April sounds far, but we know how fast time goes by. But we're going to connect with them in other ways. They will be a recipient of our Share the Plate. We're going to be looking for other ways that we can partner with them and learn from the work that they are doing. We don't have to, nor should we, be doing this work alone. Being in partnership with other organizations like the Center, like Planned Parenthood as well, helps us learn how to do this work right in our community. Another way that we will engage with this question of what can we do, what shall we do, is by participating in the congregational read this year. The Unitarian Universalist Association chose a book, and we are going to follow their lead in reading Social Change Now, a guide for reflection and connection. This is written by Deepa Iyer, also the author of the children's book we read earlier. She is a racial justice lawyer and an activist who offers strategies for values-driven involvement in fighting collective despair. These are her words: in fighting collective despair and fomenting change during the fierce urgency of now. Now, this guide is more of a workbook. You'll see when you open it, there are pages that you get to fill out. More than a narrative or a strategy, it asks the readers to participate in individual reflection and then group connection to understand the talents and tools that we bring to the work. As you've already seen, she asks us to consider, are we storytellers or are we guides? Perhaps we are weavers. Perhaps we are experimenters or frontline responders or visionaries. The builders and the caregivers also important, just as the disruptors and the healers. This book asks you to consider which one are you, or maybe a combination of all. Perhaps you are a storyteller who would like to learn from the disruptors in the community, or are you a builder, a Minecraft builder? Why not? You are a builder who wants to further your practice and your visionary muscles. We will all engage in this work from the place where we are at. Perhaps we are new on our journey to understanding our role in social change, or maybe we're just learning new ways to engage after decades of involvement because now is different. Perhaps you are excited, or maybe you're weary, or maybe you're ready to employ your wizened perspective. You are needed at whatever stage you are at. We are all needed. Throughout this year, we will engage with this book periodically in a large group conversation and in various ways in our smaller communities. Our staff have copies of this book. We're talking about it in our staff meetings, as well as our board of trustees engaged with it during their retreat this summer. I will say it is available online if you would like to purchase from the UU In Spirit bookstore or other providers if you prefer to have it on Kindle or something like that. And here after the service, we're asking for a $20 donation if you'd like it, but no one is turned away from having a copy. We will have copies available for you for checkout also. In the words of Deep Iyer, she says this: "Our belief in the promise of social change through connections with one another is why we keep trying after we feel disappointment, why we keep returning after grieving, why we keep fighting after resting. It is why we keep building after systems fail, why we keep on loving even when we're experiencing heartbreak. It's why we take actions that embody solidarity, resistance, and hope. It's why we infuse our efforts with joy, passion, affirmation, and healing. We intuitively know that something better is blooming, growing, emerging, and we want to be a part of that momentum, that stream, that journey. So join us on this journey that our foremothers traveled. A journey inspired by and also that demonstrates the culmination of this progressive faith of which we are a part, a living faith based in values, in solidarity, in learning, and affirmation. So, what can we do? We do what we can today. We build, we weave, we tell stories, we heal, we care. We acknowledge our learnings and our successes of the past, and we make ready for the long-haul journey of tomorrow and beyond, together. May it be so.
Please rise in body or in spirit and join us in singing hymn 1017, Building a New Way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hate and greed and jealousy. We are working to be free. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love, that is the seed. We can feed our every need. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, this world will die. Peace and freedom is our cry.
For our closing words today, I offer you this reading from Rosemary Watola Trommer. And She begins, and if it's true we are alone together. The way blades of grass are alone but exist in a field. Sometimes I feel it, the green fuse that ignites us, the wild thrum that unites us, an inner hum that reminds us of our shared humanity. Just as 35 trillion red blood cells join in one body to become one blood. Just as 136,000 notes make up one symphony. Alone as we are, our small voices weave into the big conversation. Our actions are essential to the one infinite story of what is to be alive. When we feel alone, we belong to the great communion of those who sometimes feel alone. We are the dust that hopes, a rising of dust, a thrill of dust, the dust that dances in the light with all the other dust, the dust that makes the world.